Welcome to Sunday School. I guess it's our first Sunday School of March. Uh, Appropriate for Sunday School, I want to say some prayers. Now, as many of you know, because I talk about it an awful lot, uh, I was raised, if you want to call it that, I was raised Methodist, okay, Protestant. Uh, uh, Methodist, like many of my schoolmates and stuff. We were either Methodists or Presbyterian or Lutheran or or other things. The evangelical movement wasn't very big when I was a kid. Not yet. We sort of made fun of them, the Pentecostal people. They anyway, and now they're the big thing, you know. Uh, but anyway, and I was out of boredom and at the suggestion of my mother, I sang in the children's choir, and then I sang in the adult choir, and I volunteered to fold the bulletins and do chores on Saturday before school, and I was like the equivalent of an altar boy. I ceremonially dressed up and lit the candles at the beginning of service, and then ceremonially snuffed out the candles at the end, and things like that. So I was active in the church, but I always thought the entire Christian thing was totally absurd. I never actually believed it with any kind of childlike belief that my mother said that she had. I always thought this is this is terribly wrong, and but anyway, but I eventually did go to church. And but it's not the way you think. I went to church in late 1966 on the living room floor of the home of a wonderful black folk singer named uh, Howard Hamilton. And we had both dropped an unknown dose of LSD at a club, at a folk club in Belmont Shore, California, and had quickly driven home before it started to really come on. He locked himself in his bedroom, and I stretched out on the floor with some music going on and things like that. But by myself that night on the floor at Howard Hamilton's apartment, Costa Mesa, California, I went to church for the very first time. Afterwards, I was inspired to go to church quite a few more times. The second or third time, I had gotten hold of a book by Dr. Timothy Leary called Psychedelic Prayers. And I'm going to read a couple of psychedelic prayers for you. These are snippets. It's not the whole thing. But obviously Timothy Leary had gone to church too, and had read the Tao Te Ching and got it. Okay, so I'm going to share just a few of the psychedelic prayers after the Tao Te Ching by Timothy Leary. And it's sort of written in poetry type verses like this, with big spaces and things that anybody who has tried to have a discussion with your guide or anybody while you're experiencing a psychedelic expansion, you sort of get what these pauses are about. But that critical, non-game terror, reverence, awful moment comes. There comes a time when the ecstatic cry is called for. At that time, you must be ready to pray, to go beyond yourself, to contact energy beyond your game. At that time, you must be ready to pray. When you have lost the need to pray, you're a dead man in a world of dead symbols. Pray for life. Pray for life. Under the heading LSD, life, light, love, seed, sun with a U, sun with an O, death, daughter, DNA. Hold in reverence this great symbol of transformation, and the whole world comes to you. Comes to you without harm, and dwells in commonwealth, dwells in union of heaven and earth. Offer music, food, wine, and the passing guest will stay for a while. But the molecular message in its passage through the mouth is without flavor. It cannot be seen, it cannot be heard, it cannot be exhausted by use. It remains. Under the heading, that which is called the Tao is not the Tao. What have you been reading, Tim? The flow of energy, here it is, nameless, timeless, speed of light, float beyond fear, float beyond desire, into this mystery of mysteries, through this gate of all wonder. Under the heading, Ethereal Pool Without Source. Empty bowl of radiance, full of universe and star. Silent, void, shimmering, ancestor of all things here. All sharpness, rounded, all wheels glide along soft tracks of light. Ethereal pool without source. Preface to life. And maybe my favorite, all things pass. All things pass. A sunrise does not last all morning. All things pass. A cloudburst does not last all day. All things pass. Nor a sunset all night. All things pass. What always changes? Earth, sky, thunder, mountain, water, wind, fire, lake. These things change. And if these do not last, do man's visions last? Do man's illusions? During the session, take things as they come. All things pass. Under the little title, Sheathing the Self. The play of energy endures beyond striving. The play of energy endures beyond body. The play of energy endures beyond life. Out there, float timeless, beyond striving. Under the title, The Manifestation of the Mystery. And this, I have to think that David Carradine and the writers of the marvelous series Kung Fu must have read this over and over again, and I'm sure took LSD quite a bit too. The Manifest of Mystery. See if this sounds familiar. Gazing, we do not see it. We call it empty space. Listening, we do not hear it. We call it silence or noise. Groping, we do not grasp it. We call it intangible. But here, we spin through it, electric, silent, subtle. And this under the heading, Please do not clutch at the gossamer web. All in heaven and on earth below is a crystal fabric, delicate, sacred gossamer web. Grabbing hands shatter it. Watch closely this shimmering mosaic, silent, glide in harmony. Under the heading Clear Water. And remember, I'm not taking these in any particular order except sort of my favorites. Clear water. The seed of mystery lies in muddy water. How can we fathom this muddiness? Water becomes still through stillness. How can we become still? By moving with the stream. Under the title, Returning to the Source, Repose. Be empty. Watch quietly while the 10,000 forms swim into life and return to the source. Do nothing. Return to the source. Deep repose is the sign that you have reached the appointed goal. To return to the source is to discover the eternal law of seed. He who returns to this eternal law is enlightened. Being enlightened, he is serene. Being serene, he is open-hearted. Being open-hearted, he's beyond social games. Being beyond social games, he is in tune with the seed. Being in tune with the seed, he endures. Until the end of his life, he is not in peril. Okay, that's psychedelic prayers on this first Sunday school of March 2024. Now you see why I became an old hippie. Constance, too. We're still old hippies. Until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Endure. Love is the law, love under will.